Welcome, everyone. If you've dedicated your career to the art of service, you already know that the traditional front desk is really just the beginning. Today, we're diving into an absolutely crucial transformation in our industry, digital hospitality, and specifically how we manage online hotel communities. We are quite literally extending the lobby experience right into the digital frontier.
So, let me properly introduce myself. Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. It is a genuine privilege to guide you through these concepts in this explainer today, helping you build the essential skills you need for modern, ultra-realistic hotel operations.
Okay, so what's on the itinerary for us? We're going to start with a welcome to digital hospitality. Then we'll look at fostering intentional guest engagement, building trust through consistency, moderation and brand integrity, the absolute power of social listening, and finally, how all of this drives loyalty and sales. Let's get right into it. Moving into our first section, welcome to digital hospitality, where we extend that lobby experience online. You know, for the longest time, the industry kind of viewed social media as just, well, a digital billboard, a place to just broadcast promotions. But today, we have to look at our online spaces as dynamic ecosystems. We've got to move way beyond just counting passive followers. These are living, breathing environments where your guests, your potential guests, and your most passionate brand advocates are actively interacting with each other and, of course, with the hotel brand itself.
And making that shift requires a massive strategic pivot. That old school one-way transactional focus where you just push out promotions, it's completely obsolete. The future is all about community building. The most successful modern hotels are cultivating spaces that are actually designed for two-way dialogue, for shared guest experiences, and for building mutual trust. It's all about long-term relationships now, not just a quick, short-term transaction.
So, how do we actually manage these dynamic digital ecosystems? Well, we rely on 4 core principles, which we're going to unpack for you right now. They are intentional engagement, consistency, moderation and care, and active listening. Think of these as the foundational pillars of your entire online operation.
Let's start with that first pillar, fostering intentional guest engagement, or what I like to call the art of the digital welcome.
Look, building an online hotel community doesn't just happen by accident, right? It actually starts with the exact same gold standard we use offline, greeting a guest warmly the second they arrive. The digital equivalent of that is actively asking questions in your posts, swiftly responding to comments, and genuinely acknowledging contributions. Think about it, you would never just ignore a guest standing right in front of you in your physical lobby, so you absolutely cannot ignore a guest who is commenting on your digital platform.
There's a great framework from the Europe Hotel School London that hits the nail on the head here. They stress that, quote, hospitality is fundamentally relational, and digital communities should reflect the same warmth and attentiveness found in physical service environments. End quote. Because when guests feel genuinely seen online, they're going to participate over and over again.
That brings us to our next section, building trust through consistency and aiming for predictable excellence.
If engagement is the initial spark, then consistency is the steady flame that keeps it going. Creating a comfortable, familiar digital environment takes a real step-by-step operational commitment. First, you need to maintain regular posting schedules. Second, you want to establish predictable engagement patterns so your guests know exactly when and how you're going to interact with them. And third, you have to cultivate a highly recognizable brand presence. It's this deep familiarity that actually brings guests back.
But I do have to issue a pretty strong warning here. If you fail to maintain that consistency over time, there are direct negative consequences. Being inconsistent with your activity can quickly kill your community's momentum and drastically reduce trust. Basically, a neglected digital space signals a neglected guest. It's really as simple as that.
Moving on to Section 4, moderation and brand integrity. This is all about protecting your digital lobby.
Just like a physical luxury lobby employs staff to make sure the environment is serene and safe, your online community needs that exact same level of care. You've got to set really clear expectations for interaction, you need to address any inappropriate behavior immediately, and you must maintain transparent, fair moderation. Remember, your online behavior reflects your brand values just as clearly as your offline service does. Good moderation protects that precious brand integrity.
And a huge part of maintaining that vibrant integrity is celebrating the actual people who make up your community. You can literally transform passive observers into active, passionate brand advocates just by strategically featuring guest stories and reposting user-generated content. When you acknowledge your loyal followers like this, it strengthens those emotional bonds and makes them feel like true insiders. But as we're managing this active, thriving ecosystem, a really critical operational question comes up. How do we actually know what our digital community truly wants and needs from us?
Well, that leads us perfectly into Section 5, the power of social listening, or tuning into the guest's voice. Social listening is our fourth operational pillar, and honestly, it is our single most powerful tool for capturing real-time feedback. When we stop talking and truly listen to the comments, the direct messages, and the open discussions, we gather invaluable intelligence. We get insights into three main things: our guests' unique preferences, their immediate concerns, and their constantly evolving expectations. But here's the catch. Listening alone just isn't enough. It has to translate into operational action. High-performing hotels use social listening to adapt their physical offerings and their communication strategies based on that real-time feedback. Being responsive like this doesn't just make your offerings more relevant, it profoundly demonstrates that you respect the guest's voice. Now for our final section, driving loyalty and sales. Let's talk about the return on your community investment.
We've spent time unpacking the operational pillars, but you're probably wondering, what's the ultimate business impact here? Well, when these dynamic digital ecosystems are thoughtfully nurtured through intentional engagement, consistency, moderation, and active listening, they turn into incredibly powerful assets. They generate massive growth in three key areas: deep emotional loyalty, a stellar brand reputation, and ultimately, sustained sales performance. Building a community isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It is a core driver of modern hospitality revenue. So, as future leaders in the hospitality industry, I want to leave you with a vital challenge to think about. How will you ensure your digital lobby reflects the exact same warmth, consistency, and attentiveness of your physical front desk? Take a moment to think about how you'll apply these principles to elevate the guest experience in the digital age. Thank you so much for joining this explainer on digital hospitality. Keep learning, keep engaging, and we will see you next time.